Hello and welcome back to the studio where we paint away the stress of everyday life. Well, I was walking through the woods the other day and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice to actually paint a woodland scene, especially with autumn. We could use all autumn colours, and I've got my jumper on today because it's quite chilly in here. And besides from the fact, my shirts don't fit me anymore.
It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe.
So looking at the canvas we've got, and that actually is a canvas today. This is a 16 by 12 canvas, and I put some gesso on it and whatnot. So let's have a look at the canvas and the palette. So I'm using a couple of my handmade paints. These are available on the website www.clive5art.co.uk, along with medium mix, along with my flow improver, and I'm using a fine mist bottle today just to dampen down the surface of the painting. So if you haven't got these, any of these colours will do, but I actually do make all my paints by hand now, and they're all blended in the studio and they go quite quickly. So if you need to order them quickly, and I can get those orders out. Every batch is made by hand. So I got ultramarine blue, I got a yellow ochre, a raw sienna. I've actually got some, this is meadow green, or if you haven't got meadow green, my meadow green, use something like a hooker's green. That's very similar. I've got some yellow, mid yellow. I got some burnt umber, some white and black. There we go. And that's it. And just a variety of brushes. So let's have a look at our canvas. Let's use my little T-square. I want to come down to about, I don't know, roughly about there. See, is it? Yeah, roughly about there. Let's do a quick line. Let's just give me an horizon line or something, and throwing that on the floor. So I want to come down. I want to make some sort of a path. So I want the path to come down, something like that. And then obviously I want the path to come around like this. And go like that, and then we're going to have some trees. That's all the drawing you need to do, just to give yourself an idea of where you're going to go. Don't fret about anything in particular. So I'm just going to pick up a brush. Look, I'll show you my brushes. Look, I just grab a selection of brushes. I don't really plan anything, and that's the way to do it. That is. So let's get some white. I'm just going to moisten that white down a bit like that. I'm going to get a little bit of blue on my brush. There we are. So this is just the paint that's on the brush, the white paint that's on the brush, and I just touch that ultramarine blue there. And let's get a little bit more white. There we are. White and blue, blue and white. I'm going to go roughly in the center, and I'm going to go out like that. That's a bit blue, so I want it a lot lighter. If you've used a bit too much blue, just add a little bit more white in. Don't go worrying too much about it. Just gotta get over like that. I'm going to put a bit more white in there. There we go. Just bring it out. Now what you're going to find is a lot of paintings you're going to do. A lot of paintings you're going to do are only going to be, you're only going to be able to get a certain amount of detail and that in, because a lot of paintings, believe it or not, can take months and months and months, if not years, to get correct. I've mentioned this before, but it's true, and you see a lot of YouTube videos as well. I'm not saying all of them, but I say you do see a lot of YouTube videos that will actually speed up their processes, and these paintings are very detailed. You're never going to get that type of detail in a painting unless you spend the time in and work at it and keep working at it and keep working at it. So something like this, I don't know how long this particular painting is going to take me. I'm not bothered. I'm just working at a certain pace. I'm just going to put a little bit of blue now around here like that. Get a bit more white. what I'm trying to do is make some sort of a hazy background. There you go. Let's get a bit of blue. Like as if there's a bit of sky in there, like that. A lot of my, I just adjust my seat. A lot of my paintings can take me, as I said, months and months and months and months to do. And a lot of my commissions I can work on for quite a long time. I never set myself a time scale. The customer says to me sometimes, well, how long is this going to take, Clive? I said, well, it'll take as long as it takes. Have you, do you want it in a certain time? They say, well, we would like it for a certain birthday. When's the birthday? Week after next. Well, I can do it, but it's not going to be to the standard I would like to do it. But it's going to be good enough to sell. And it's entirely up to them. If they want a portrait or something like that, then obviously it can take me a few months to do that. And but these paintings I do for YouTube are quick and easy and out there. There we are. So there's our background put in. Now I've got a foliage brush there, which again are available on the website www.clivehighheart.co.uk. So what we need to do now, up here we'll get a little bit of hooker's green or meadow green or a darker green that you've got, some burnt umber mixed, bit of burnt umber to that. There we are, a bit of burnt umber, a bit of dark green, a little bit of black, not too much black, but we want to get some shadow in there. We want to keep that, maintain that green. We don't want to lose that green. There we are. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put in some shadows. I'm just going to put in some shadows of some foliage like this. I got to really stop my board from rattling. I don't know why it's rattling like that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is just blocking out the colour. There you go. Just get some colour in there like this. Don't forget, if you don't want to do your trees green, you can do them blue. Who said you can't do blue trees? I've done blue trees. I've done a painting of a Christmas scene which has got blue trees in it. So I'll have to try and, if I remember, to put that in the iCards for you to have a look at. In order to show light, we need to show shadow. There we are. In order to show light, we need to show some shadow. Get a little bit of medium mix just to moisten that paint down a bit, because we want to bring something out there like that. Reminiscent to a Bob Ross type of effect. You can't really copy a Bob Ross painting in oils. I have in acrylics. I have tried. You can get a really good interpretation of it, but you're not going to get it to work exactly like that. So don't get despondent if you can't. What I'm just trying to say is, as long as it looks like it, and you got that type of style, then that's fine. It's basically the same principles, whether you're painting in oils or acrylics. Basically the same principle. All you're trying to do is just build layer upon layer upon layer. Just get some shadows in. These brushes do tend to shed a little bit, so don't worry if you bought some brushes and you think, oh, all the hairs are coming out. Well, they do. That's just the way they are. They're natural bristles. And unfortunately, we can't do nothing about natural bristles. There we go. Again, getting a bit of moisture. I'm just scrubbing that in like that. Just enjoy it. There you go. So already now we've got a little bit of distance. We're creating that little bit of distance there. So I'm just going to put that brush in some water. I'm going to pick up another brush. I'm going to pick up another short flat. This is 1/2 inch short flat. I want to get a little bit of blue and a little bit of yellow ochre, and I want to just concentrate on getting some of this. A little bit of let's get a bit of burnt umber now. Get a bit of burnt umber on the brush. Just using the edge of the brush like that. Look. Using the gesso underneath. Don't have to paint every single piece of canvas. Don't worry about that. That's not. You don't have to paint this if you don't want to. Allow it to show through. Let's get a bit of yellow ochre. What we're trying to get is a little bit of a gravelly path effect. The other question I'm asked a lot is, do I actually bother painting the edges down around? Yes, I do. On commissions, but on lessons like this, no, I don't. It's just a waste of time as far as I'm concerned, because if I like this particular painting, then I'll keep it, and then I will paint the edges. But if I don't like it, I'm just going to paint over it, or I'll go to chuck it away. You can't do that. Yes, I can. A lot of people say to me, why do you throw your paintings away? Well, I got so many paintings you wouldn't believe. And I haven't got room for every single one of them. So I just enjoy painting. And I think it's an idea that I've come up with that, oh well, if I can't use them, I can't use them, you know, and I will paint on these canvases as long as I possibly can. So I'm just bringing in a bit of light. I'm just getting a bit of light white on my brush now. I need a bit more white. Look as if there's some light just twinkling through like that. See, I'm arcing my brush like this. Arcing my brush like that. There you go. So already we've developed some sort of a path going in. So it's obviously wider here and going in. It could be a little bit narrower. It doesn't matter. If I wanted that a bit narrower, what I could do is I could just increase the tree line like that. In fact, let's just get a little bit of white on my brush and just make that a little bit lighter down there. And you can see what I'm trying to say about depth. Things are a little bit brighter, lighter in the background than what they are in the foreground. As you come progressively forward, things get a little bit darker. So we could put a few little bush type things in the background like this. Because we don't know. We could be walking the dog down there, couldn't we? Let's get a little bit of yellow. Let's get a bit of white. Is that going to be okay? Bit of white, bit of yellow, just to give it a little bit of a sparkle in the background like that. Change the colours if you want. You can get this to really like that. You can put a mountain in the background if you want to do a Bob Ross thing. And why not? Later, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's have a bit of fun. Let's mix a bit of yellow and a bit of green. Let's get some white in that. I don't want my brush to be all chalky. And let's just put some little doers in the background there. Let's get some more white. There you go. Bring a little bit of colour now into that. I can see there's another row in front of that. There we go. Just have fun. Above all, let's have fun. Above all, let's just have fun. This bit of hooker's green. This bit of hooker's green. Putting that in a thing. Okay, what I need now is a nice long script lining brush. This is one of these long, thin brushes. These are available again on the website www.clive5art.co.uk. So we need to get medium mix. We need to. Let's just get some maybe trees and things in the background like this. We need to get this to a nice sharp point. I don't know. This is not one of my best ones, but there we are. We got it. Just like that. Just to give it an idea of light. There we go. Nice idea of light. I'm going to dry this with a hairdryer. If you haven't got a hairdryer, just give it 20 minutes and you should be fine. So I'm going to do that and come back. Okay, so we got a little bit of depth going on there. Now what we need to do is bring in another layer just in front of those so we can build this up a bit. But let me think. Yes, I mean, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yes, I am. Okay, so using the same green again. Let's get some hooker's green over there. There we go. Some burnt umber. And now some yellow. Let's bring some yellow into that. You can just see it's just a slightly different colour. Now don't forget, yellow tends to, it's just a touch of white to it. Yellow tends, greens tend to dry darker, at least 2 shades darker, and then mostly all acrylics will dry 2 shades darker as well. So we need to get another layer of branches and things in there. Not branches, but leaves, you know what I mean. Let's get a little bit of colour just in there like that. I got this quite liquidy. Liquidy? Yeah, liquidy. Dropping down like this. Leave that dark area. Leave the dark area there, look. Leave it there. Sparkly little bits here and there. There we go. Done. Moving on to the other side. Don't forget, in here it's going to be dark. There's no light getting to it. These foliage brushes, they make life so much easy. They make life so much easier, I should say. Not much easy. Pop along and get some. You wonder why you didn't before. I tell you, you will. Let's get a little bit more green. A bit more yellow. You'd be saying, go. I'm so glad I bought those brushes off Clive, because they've made such a difference. to the way I can do bushes and things, trees even. Leave a little dark area in there, look. That's where all the squirrels and that live. Just a little bit of light here, there, like that. Don't worry about leaving dark areas. Sometimes that makes a painting. Sometimes that makes the painting. Just keep doing that. There you go. So you're getting our brightness now already. What I want to do now is, what can I do now? What can I do? I know. Let's get my scrippy liner brush again. There we are. I got my scrippy liner brush. Let's get some more trees. Let's get some brown over there. Bit of black. Let's just put a few. Trees in. Branches. Like that. Some of these trees you can see, some branches you can't see, doesn't really matter. Put a branch in there, that's coming out like this. And we could put a few in there. There we go. Let's put another branch in there, another branch there like that. Just use your imagination. Put a big tree trunk there like that. There we go. Just put another tree trunk in there. Like that. There you go. Don't worry about it. Put some leaves and things over that in a second. We could put another couple of branches and bushes and things like that. Let's get ourselves a little detail brush. Doesn't really matter what brush you pick up. Pick up, I don't know, whatever. A smallish brush. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put in a few rocks and things like that. Only little marks like that. That's all you need, little tiny marks like that. Just to represent maybe just a couple of rocks. And what we can do then is get a little bit of light white on your brush, mix it in with the colour you've got on your brush, and just put a little bit of highlight like that. Little bit of highlight. A little bit of highlight goes a long way, it does. There you go. So we've got some rocks now. That's giving us a little bit more depth. Now, what we need to do now is come in with a brighter colour again. But before I do that, I'm going to put some more green on my palette. There we are, because I've run out. I'm going to get my brush again, making sure it's nice and dry. So what I do is I rinse the brush out with some water, and then I get some kitchen roll like that, and I actually tap the brush like this. I don't actually pull it like that. I actually tap the brush in like that. Just get the water out. I'm going back into some Hooker's green over there. I'm going to get some more yellow in there. I get some white now. Now, if we want to do an autumn scene, which is initially what I was going to do, but I changed my mind, then use autumn colours. So we can put a couple of different colours in like this now. Don't want to go too much overboard. Just put a few different colours in. Putting the grass in like this. Get a little bit bigger as we come forward, just to give that illusion of depth. Giving a couple of different planes. There's a plane, there's a line there, that's one plane. There's another line there, that's that level, that's another plane. There's another line there, that's plane. So if you do something there, you want to match up to this side, just remember that. Now this is going to get catching the light a lot more here, because in there, that's where all the squirrels live. There's some rocks there, some shadows in there, some shadows there as well. So let's just get a few of these bright coloured leaves and things here now, like this. Because we need to sparkle that up again in a second. Using the brush now on the edge like that. Then out flat like this. You might wonder, well, that's gone a bit bright there, Clive, but hey, there could be some light shining through you, couldn't there? Could be, it could be not. I don't know. There we go. Just leave that as it is for the moment. Just going to leave that brush there. Don't forget that brush is there because it's going to dry on you and you don't want that. No, you don't. So I'm going to get a, what have I got? Let's get a detailing brush. This is a number 4 detailing brush. Again, we want to go into some brown, and I'm going to mix some white to it. I'll tell you why. Because I tell you what, one of my favourite trees. One of my favourite trees is a silver birch tree. We're going to put a nice big silver birch tree in our landscape there, like this. Put his foot in place. Put his foot in place. There he goes. There he is. He's going to be a little bit wider on the bottom than he is on the top. We could put another one in, because everybody wants a friend. There we go. If it doesn't move, if your paint is not flowing, just add a bit of flow improver. And sometimes I put my brush in the flow improver and I forget to show you. There he is. Just take your time. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. So we got 2 there. Let's put another one in. Let's put another one in here. Let's just go like that. Like that. There he is. He's got a bit of a bend in him. And then let's just change the colour. Let's get this a bit darker now. Let's add a bit of black to it. There we are. I want this a bit darker. I want one. I want one to come there. I hope my head's not in the way. Just have fun. Just enjoy the painting process. Just make it up as you go along. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain by trying. The trouble is we all forget sometimes that you know, we just need to try. We just need to be ambitious sometimes and just go, well, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst can happen in your life? What is the worst that can happen in any particular thing? You know, what is the worst that can happen? It's not always as bad as we think it's going to be, is it? 99% of the time, it's worse because we think it's going to be. There you go. 99% of the time, it's worse because we think it's going to be worse. There's the trees. And there's the trees. Let's put a bit of shadow in there like that. Maybe a couple of rocks or something. That's going to balance it a bit. There we are. A couple of nice rocks, but there like that. And as I said, like we did over the other ones, just put a couple of highlights on the top. What's the worst that can happen? Put too much white on something. That's what's the worst that can happen. There we are. Let's darken that up a bit more there. There you go. Nice, easy, simple way of doing some sort of a landscape. What we're going to do now is very quickly, before I'm going to let that dry then, before I put some more bits and pieces on, because I've got to go and get my wife from work. I have. So let's start there with this script lining brush and bring a branch out like that. And we could bring another branch out going that way. And we could put a little flicky doer on there like that. There we go. And we get another branch come in like this, and maybe another one that way. You can't see that one because there's some leaves and that in the way. And this one then you can come up like this and flick it that way because it's going away from us. This one then can be come in there and come in towards us like that. And another little flicky doer. Flicky doers. There we go. You put as many or as few on as you want, really. You make it up. You can do it. I got greatest confidence in you. If you haven't got any confidence in yourself, I know you can do this. I know you can do it. Let's get some. Where's my brown? There we are. That'll do. If you don't, all you gotta do is put some more leaves and stuff on anyway, so don't worry about that. We can put some leaves and things on them in a minute. While we got this, we can just put a few things like this. There's brambles and all this stuff, just creating a complete mess around here, really. If you think about brambles and stuff, you can't really sort that mess out, can you? It's like a big scramble of stuff. We can put some leaves and stuff on that in a minute. What I'm going to do now is I got to go and get my wife, so really I'll have to put that in the water. I'm going to have to let that dry, and I shall be back like this. Well, I've just come back. Wife's happy. My wife is happy. Okay, so it's all nice and dry. So what we need to do now is let's just get a let's just get a, I don't know. Let's get an, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I got a little short flat. I'm just going to get some white on my brush like this. And now I'm just going to pull in some white like this. On the tree. Don't forget we're doing silver birch trees. There we are. A bit more white now, bit more white. Let's get some white like that. There we go. That's that one done. Let's do a couple over here. So there's some silver birch trees there. I'm gonna do these slightly differently, I think. Okay, let's get some black on our brush now. In fact, let's get a smaller brush. I'm just gonna get a detail brush. I use all different brushes to save me washing them all the time. So if you've got multiple brushes, it's fine. I don't know what number this is. It's a small detail brush anyway. What we need to do now is put some black on this tree like that. Just enjoy the painting process. That's all you got to do. Just enjoy the painting process. And we're going to bury them into the ground in a minute. There we are. Just put a few bits of black. That's too thick a paint on there. I don't put a bit too much paint on my brush then. There you go. And we've got to put some on this one, haven't we? There you go. They're looking a bit like silver birch trees. I hope they are. I hope. Bit of raw sienna now, because what I want to do is just put a little bit of colour into these trees here, just to make them stand out just a touch. I'm going to put a bit raw sienna on here, just to give that warmth. Maybe it's a little bit of light shining. you go. What I want to do now is I'm just going to get a I don't know, a detail brush like this. I'm going to get some yellow and some white. And what I'm going to do now is put a few. That's not working. That's not working. Let's go back to our... Sometimes you've got to try things and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we just need to change our approach a little bit. So I'm going back to this brush. It's better. I need to put a few light the marks here and there like that. Just like it's just catching a bit of light. Maybe even want to sparkle that up just a bit more, just a bit brighter, because it's a little bit, I want it to stand out. There we go. Let's put some more light. Just coming down. Sparkling down there like that. Just going to put some grass there. It's like as if, don't forget we put brambles there, didn't we? So there you go. How's that looking? That's looking pretty good. What we need to do now is just get some of this light colour. There you go. That looks good. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with the way that is. Yes, yes. I tell you what we could do though very quickly before we finish this off is I'm just going to get some burnt umber. Well, I got great faith in you. I know you can do this better than me because you've got more time than me. Let's put a bit of shadow down the back of that tree there like that. There you go. And what we could do then, get a bit of brown, darken the front off a bit like that. Looks a bit better. Looks a bit darker now in the front, so it's pushing it further back. And I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to leave it at that, I think. You could put a few little twiggly bits and bit of grass and one thing and another in there if you wanted to. You could, you know, put some leaves and things, just maybe grass sticking up the rocks there, and maybe a couple of bits there like that, or you know, you just play with it. Just It's your painting. You do what you want with it. But that's what I suggest you do. Just put a few little leaves and things like that. And if you like what you've seen today, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And click the subscription button down there. Over there is another video and there's another link down there as well you can click. So thank you very much for joining me in the studio again today. And just standing in the woods and breathing in that lovely fresh air. There you go. Bye.